Hey everybody, Don Georgievich here, Job Interview Tools. Welcome to 7 Days to Mastering the Art of the Interview, Module 4. This is all about the handshake, so let's get started. Does a handshake really matter? Well, think back to the last time you got a limp handshake or a bone crusher. What impression did it make on you? Was it distracting, disgusting, shocking? Whatever your reaction, you probably weren't feeling positive about the other person. What a sloppy handshake says about the person behind the hand is that he or she just doesn't have things together. And if you're a sloppy handshaker, you're telling the client, boss, or interviewer that you have problems. Now, that conclusion can lead him to make subconscious decisions that he doesn't want to do business with you, or that you won't make a good representative of his company. The handshake is the physical greeting that accompanies a verbal greeting. Because the handshake is used universally in business, knowing when to shake hands and how to shake hands confidently is absolutely vital. Getting the right form. So, what is a proper handshake? The act seems so simple, yet people get confused over how to do it. Not shaking hands is a very clear form of rejection, and it's extremely insulting to the other person. In the United States and every other English speaking country, you're expected to offer a firm handshake and make eye contact at the same time. A firm handshake with good eye contact communicates self confidence. In U.S. etiquette, an appropriate handshake begins with the introduction. So, the first thing that you want to do is extend your hand and grip the other person's hand so that the web of your thumbs meet. And then you want to shake a couple of times. The motion is from the elbow, not the shoulder. I've known people to shake and just practically shake my arm off, but they don't mean anything by it. It's just their style. Now, while you're shaking, say something like, it's good to meet you, or it's good to be here, or, whatever is relevant to your situation. And number 3, end the handshake cleanly. Before the introduction is over, if you want to count, a good handshake is held for about 3 to 4 seconds, but don't be obvious that you're counting. And that's really the gist of it. That's all there is to it. Now, shaking hands can be awkward in some situations. Should you be introduced to someone when your hands are full or carrying files or other packages, don't try to rearrange everything. Just simply nod your head as you respond to the introduction. Understanding the protocol of handshaking. When someone makes an introduction, always remember to stand so that you can shake hands on an even level. And that goes for women as well. However, if you happen to be seated at a table where reaching the other person is difficult or awkward, you don't have to stand. Now, if you're wearing a name tag, place it close to your right shoulder because that's where a person's eyes will naturally wander when they're shaking hands. So if you're having cocktails, hold your drink in your left hand while introductions are going around. And then later on, you can switch to your right hand. You don't want to fumble with your drink or offer someone a wet or cold handshake. Now, if you're wearing gloves, always remove them before shaking hands. And the same goes for wearing gloves outdoors. You should take them off, well, unless it's just really, really cold outside. All right, let's move on to knowing when to shake hands. When in doubt, offer your hand. Shaking hands is appropriate when you're renewing an acquaintance, you're interviewing for a job, you're acknowledging someone who enters your office, your cubicle, or home, or you're greeting a client, a new coworker, or host. You're meeting someone you already know outside your work or your home, or you're ending a job interview. In fact, because you should be shaking hands more often than not, the real question is, when don't you shake hands? You should avoid shaking hands when the other person has his or her hands full. And putting everything down to shake your hand would just be a huge inconvenience. Another exception may be when the person you want to greet is someone much higher ranked than you and to whom you really have nothing to say. So in this case, rushing up to shake his hand to introduce yourself would probably appear a little pushy. Avoiding the clammy hand dilemma. When you're going to a job interview, you're likely to be nervous, and that makes for a cold and clammy handshake. So what I like to do is visit the restroom right before I check in for my interview and wash my hands with warm soapy water. This gets the sweat off and it warms them up, so if I shake hands within the next 10 minutes, my hands will be good. I also grab some paper towels from the bathroom and put them in my pocket. I'll carry a cotton handkerchief in my pocket too and grasp it with my right hand until I'm ready to shake hands. And that way, my hand is always dry. And if you have perennial clammy hands, just carry a cotton handkerchief with you all the time so that your hands are always dry. Okay, that's all I have for you today. You'll need to stay tuned to tomorrow's lesson. This is going to be probably the most powerful lesson yet, and it's likely to change your career forever. If you're not watching this video at jobinterviewtools.com, you're probably not subscribed to receive the full program. So head on over to jobinterviewtools.com/7days and register so you can be sure that you're getting the full program. Plus, you'll get even more resources that I only share in email. It's all free, so you have nothing to worry about. And if you don't want to wait around until tomorrow to receive the next lesson, you can jump to Module 5 right now. Just share this lesson on Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Share it with someone who needs it. And just use the share buttons below and you'll automatically jump to the next lesson. And of course, I would love to hear your comments. Have you experienced any awkward handshaking moments? Are your hands forever sweaty or clammy? Let us know. Share your story. And of course, I would love to hear your comments. Have you experienced any awkward handshaking moments? Are your hands forever sweaty or clammy? Please share your story below. Would love to hear it. I'm Don Georgievich. Stay on your game. I'm here to help you succeed so you can enjoy a prosperous career and lead a lifestyle you love. I'll see you in the next video.
Hi, my name is Tori Mitchell, and I'm here today to tell you job seekers and those of you who are struggling to find employment how using Don's plan will work. His plan ultimately guides you through how the interview will ask you questions and how you need to answer those questions. I landed a job in 3 days, and I landed this job using Don's total foolproof plan of mastering the art of the interview. I did study his guide. I tailored it to my needs as far as my education, my experience, and my skills. I went into a job interview one day. The second call that I got was for a second interview. The following morning, needless to say, I got the job. So if you use Don's plan, you can't go wrong. And for those of you who are nervous about interviews or nervous about how to answer questions, I guarantee you, if you use Don's plan, you can't go wrong. So I want to thank Mr. Don Georgievich, and those of you who are using Don's guide. I guarantee you, you will get the job. And thank you, Don.